Okay, so um, I want to talk about hitchhiking today. Either just doing it to travel or doing it while you are on the run. So, first time that I hitchhiked, I was going to be on the run. I was on probation. I just left rehab. However, I had just had my court date. So it was going to be a little while for my next, court date. It was continued, and they thought I was all good, still at the rehab. That I'm square. So when are they really going to check in, and see that I'm not there, and then tell the judge they should the warrant? So yeah, so that was kind of a little bit unique. Um, so the first thing with that, if you're wanted, um, I would look into taking a bus out of state, just out of state, um, nearby state, start or whatever. Just the cheapest bus ticket you can get and what you can afford. Um, so yeah, so I would do that because chances are, I don't really know of a bus company. There's a few out there that are going to ask for ID. And a lot of times you can pay cash or you can get one of those little Visa load things at gas stations and just put whatever name on there that you want. And then when you get like a you know printout or whatever, they just scan that. They're not gonna be like, oh, let me see your ID to make sure you're no. I never had to show my ID on a bus. Amtrak is a different story, but Amtrak's pretty expensive. So you want to try like a Trailways or one of those little knockoff buses. Greyhound can be an option. They're kind of expensive, but there's a lot of ways. So something like that could be really helpful. Um, so then once you're out of the state and you start hitchhiking, first tidbit is at some point, uh, pretty quickly, most likely, you are going to be stopped by the police. It's going to happen. Hitchhiking is illegal in all 50 states, and they will stop you. So, what is going to happen is they will pull over right in front of you, flash the lights, and yeah, I would just walk up to them, stay calm, and as you're walking up to them, think of, how am I going to, what am I going to say? How am I going to get out of this? So try to make up a story. Like what I would do is one, I didn't carry my ID like on me. I didn't have an ID, and they would ask for my wallet. It wasn't in my wallet. It was like in my pack, buried. Because they're not going to really, most likely, they're not going to dig through your things. I guess unless they want to be a real dick. They just don't got that time. Um, yeah. So yeah, just come up with a story. I usually just say like, I was aged out of the foster system, and I know my birthday. This is my birthday. Give them some bogus birthday, and then try to rattle off a social security number, and but be like, I fully don't know it, and they're gonna call it in, and then they're not gonna find you. So then, with that, as long as you've been cool and don't seem nervous or anything, and the part that, oh, like shit, cops, I'm on the, they just might let you go. That is, they don't want to deal with the headache. Like I have bullshitted my way out of so many contacts with the police. Like, I mean, I was in prison, violated, went into county, uh, got out of county on furlough, ran from the furlough, and there was a warrant out for the new charge and then also violating my probation. And I was able to bullshit my way out of it. So yeah, it just, as long as you stay calm and don't give them a reason to really look into it, they might just let you go. If they don't, and they take you to the station to print you, um, well, before they do that, they might, that most likely they'll be like, okay, this isn't coming back. Like, who are you? Da, 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 da. They're really going to be hardcore. Then at that point, I would just level with them. Especially if you're multiple states away, because they might not even extradite you. And I'll tell you real quick this story. So I was in Arizona at this point when I got stopped. I put my tent up behind a Culver's, and I don't know what I was thinking. It was dark, and I thought there was a little bit more of a awning or something to block the view than there was. And it just so happened it was like delivery day. So at 7 and 8 in the morning, this truck came in, and the boss saw me and called the cops. And at 8 in the morning, there was a cop kicking on my tent. So so I got out and I tried to bullshit him, saying the same thing, different name, birthday, all that, jazz. And he wasn't buying it. He was really looking. So he was just like, all right, dude, like, cut the shit. I'm going to take you to the station. We're going to print you. Or you're going to tell me, and we'll just work from there. Because Arizona, we might not do it, depending where you're from. We probably won't extradite you. I'm telling you, because we don't have extradition. It's on your state to come get you. So you might just want to level, because I don't care. I don't got the time. So I told him, and he was like, okay. So he called it in and everything. And so when they, call it in, they find stuff, they check with that law enforcement. So the one warrant was for the, prison. They got Department of Corrections, and Department of Corrections said, tell them to keep running. We aren't spending a dime on getting them for this petty, case, the petty thing. If it's not murder or like something violent, then chances are that they're not going to waste all that tax money and everything. They're just not going to do it. So that was a no. So he was like, okay, you're good on that. I got to check with your new charge. So he called the jail, and they wouldn't answer. And he just got all around this rigmarole. At this time, I'm in his cop car, and he's calling, got on the thing, and his radio's going off. One was like an armed robbery in progress. And he's sitting there dealing with me. So finally, he was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. If they don't call in 5 minutes, I'm letting you go. And I just don't want to see you again. Just get the fuck out of the state. So I was like, okay, bet. So the time went off. They didn't call back. He let me go. My problem was, like a dumbass, I didn't leave. I went and contacted my buddy at the library to try to do a meetup with him, and then think about leaving. So I went back to the same spot he stopped me at and started flying the sign for a ride. And someone was just about to let me in the car when same cop whips on his lights, calls my name, zooms in, and grabs me. And it's like, yeah, just when I let you out of the car, they called back. So, I saw you, I got to take you in. So I got booked in. But here's the thing. And this might look out if you're like someplace like Arizona or down south. I got booked in, and I guess I was like booked in for like 48 hours or something. Um, and Illinois wanted me, but there was no confirmation that they were coming to get me. So they let me go because they got border jumpers. They got all these, like, when I was locked up, I was like the only person in the little holding cell that spoke any English. There was drug smugglers from like Honduras that walked months up with backpacks full of drugs. So like they don't have time to deal with some bullshit out of state case. They don't care. So they just released me, and they're just like, you know what, fuck these people. They didn't say they're coming in this date, this time, and he's holding himself. Get rid of them. Fuck them. We're just gonna be like, hey, you guys didn't confirm right when we arrested them. It's your problem. So yeah, see ya. So I got out of that one, but ended up getting hemmed up again. But I'm not gonna go into that for sake of time. But yeah, so just playing it cool like that, you can kind of get around. But for the most part, I'm just gonna say this: if you're wanted, like, I don't know, my opinion, it's not worth it. They're gonna catch you. Like, eventually you probably gonna get hemmed up somewhere if you're gonna do this. So like, just wait till you're not wanted. But yeah, if you're one that don't want to turn yourself in and wants to take the risk, then yeah, just be creative. Um, I'm not here to judge or support anything. I'm just, yeah, sharing my story. So yeah, okay. So now just for the traveling part, which I really wanted more of a purpose for this video. Yeah, so if you're a first time traveler, you want to hitchhike. First off, know that it's going to suck sometimes. If you're one that doesn't like rain and fall weather and like cold and just, crappy out, then don't do this. This isn't for you. But if you can tough it out and, you're fine with camping, then yeah, go do it. Um, it's really rewarding. I've met tons of people, some awesome people doing this. So yeah, so it's pretty rewarding. So yeah, all right. So basics that you're going to need to know. So again, if you're just doing this travel, yeah, I would save some money up, and you're going to want to use that sparingly. Depending where you're at, you probably know your home state pretty well. I'm from Illinois. Illinois is kind of hard to hitchhike out of. I just haven't had any real luck with it. I mean, maybe it's a little bit better down south. I'm from like Chicagoland area. It was just tough as heck getting out of there. So I would recommend doing that bus deal to get out, then start your voyage. So yeah, so there's that. But yeah, so while you're on the run, or sorry, on the road, you're gonna want to probably at some point you're gonna need some money. So you're gonna fly a sign, and yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, you're just gonna get you a good Sharpie, cardboard box, write out a sign. Make it fun and creative, but appropriate. Some people like hey, smile if you got a heart on, or like some really like weird perverted stuff. Don't do that. Just something nice like, hey, happy Monday or whatever. Thank you, and underneath your whatever you need, I'm hungry, whatever. Also, probably put traveling. That kind of helps. That puts you in a different category than just like local homeless. If you're kind of like in a big town, where you're not in a smaller town, and it's like, oh, I haven't seen that person before. He's not a regular homeless. But if you're in a big area where there's a lot of homeless, oh, that's a new homeless person or whatever. But if you're like traveling, backpacking, put something on that, then they're probably gonna want to talk to you, and they'll probably throw you a few bucks, or at least get you a meal, or if not, just talk to you, and that's kind of cool. So, but yeah, usually they give you something. So yeah, do something like that and fly a sign. Uh, Probably best bet in doing that would be along a storefront, but like not really right in front. Just kind of away from the doorway, so like people aren't really walking over you. They see you, but you're not like, hey, right in their face. Um, that would kind of be the appropriate distance. If it's like a gas station, something smaller. I've really had success at Walmart. Walmart, it's kind of hit or miss. I've actually had pretty luck, like kind of off the side of the door for a while. But I've had more success because usually most Walmarts have like some type of entryway from like a side road or something. There's like a little grass area by like the parking lot. That's where you're going to want to fly your sign. That is a real good spot. And sometimes there's people coming in and people coming out, so it's like a dual in way. That'll be real good because sometimes if they can, they'll stop or whatever and or throw it to you or drop it on the ground and like honk and point or something, and you just wait for the cars and clear and you go across and do that. But majority people are going to hit you on the way out. The majority, but you kind of do have that double, and then sometimes there could be maybe something like back home. It was like a McDonald's right there, so like people from the McDonald's would like traffic, through that. So it'd get like it was kind of like a double side type thing, and I've seen that in other places, other states, something like that. So look for something like that. That's pretty good. Um, malls. I haven't really had a whole lot of luck at. Um, Usually, security gets called pretty quickly. A lot of malls have parking lot security, so they're gonna spot you right away, and they're gonna tell you get the fuck out of there. Like that's just not really really plausible. Businesses or along the side of the road, near underpass or something, exit ramp or something like that, in a certain direction, and like something with a light. Uh, that median to road, you can do, but that's like kind of real quick, and you are just asking for the police to stop you, like right in the middle of the median. I've always gotten thrown off by the police for standing in the median. I've done it. I've had to do it before, traveling and just being homeless. I was homeless for a while in my town. And I've, you'll make money. You'll make money. Just be aware that cops are going to hit you pretty quickly. So that might not be the best bet. But if you have to, then just work quickly, and then just kind of move on. Because depending, cops come. I've never really. Well, I've been like arrested and I guess like processed for that, but chances are they're just going to write you a ticket, or maybe even take your money. So yeah, you just kind of want to stay away, and it all depends where you're at. Country towns kind of more laid back. Big cities, I don't know, it's just kind of hit or miss. Again, this is just my experience. Um, like I'm not a professional by any means. I'm just kind of giving my tidbits, and there's just kind of an introductory video for someone that's like heard of this or something. It's like, hey, I want to try it, but I don't really know how. Oh, here, you can use some of my tidbits. So Yeah, you're just kind of gonna really have to figure a lot of stuff out on your own too. I mean, that's what I did. Uh, I figured almost like everything out on my own. I mean, I think there's a few friends that kind of gave me some pointers, but for the most part, I figured out most of the stuff on my own. And like I said, being homeless helped a lot with the panhandling and like flying aspect of it, and then definitely living on on the street and everything that you're gonna be doing, like kind of camping out. So that helped. But I mean, I just learned that just on my own. This is what I do. Okay, so I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try that. So just experiment. You're just gonna figure out your own way. So yeah. All right. Well, if you guys got any more questions, you can leave them down in the comments, and I will answer them. I hope this was useful to you, and yeah, happy travels.